Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Jhin supplementing guide, and today we're going to be talking about Lethality Jhin. So without further ado, let's jump straight into his build. So as you guys can see, your first item is obviously a Lethality item. So in this case, we have Dustblade of Drekthar. Now you have two other options. So your basically Dustblade is the option that gives you the most damage because it gives you 55 AD, 18 lethality, and of course your Night Stalker passive, which allows you to deal bonus damage as well as a slow with a 10-second cooldown, which resets on takedown. So it gives you the most damage. Now the other option you can go for is Youmuu's, which is pretty much what you've gone for in patch 4.3. So Youmuu's pretty much very similar stats, but 3 less armor pen, but the passive is the main difference. So this one gives you movement speed and of course attack speed, which is going to convert into AD for Jhin when you hit an enemy, and the other one is going to be Serpent's Fang. Now obviously this is very situational, really good against shielding, but pretty much Dustblade is going to be your default option. So as you guys can see, I got Bloodthirster as my next item. Now personally, I just think Bloodthirster is just too strong of an item to not go for as your next item. Now Bloodthirster, huge amount of AD, of course from the passive as well, attack speed from the passive converted to AD as well, and of course the physical vamp as well. Now you could technically, by the way, after you go for your lethality item, you want to go for boots next. Where is my boots? Alright, you want to go for boots next over here. You want to go for boots after your lethality item. But after your Dustblade, you could technically go for a collector as your next item, because this will still allow you to get to 100% crit as well as having 2 lethality items at the start. And you could also go for lethality boots if you want to for even more lethality. That could work, but this is a very, that would be very early game focused and you would fall off really hard in late game. So anyways, I like to go for Bloodthirster second, and then same build as the crit one, which is IE as your next item, more damage, more crit. More Reminder again as your next item for Armor Pen, Grievous Wounds, more crit, and Shield Bow of course for the defensive shield as well as the stats. Of course, once again, you could fit in Magnetic Blaster into the build if you so choose, and also once again you could replace any one of the items for more defensive options like GA, like Maw, like Crown, etc. But this is pretty much the Jhin crit build. It's basically the the Jhin lethality build. It's basically the same as the crit build, but you just insert in a lethality item at the start. And of course, Dustblade is a very popular lethality item on ADCs now, like Jhin, like Kai'Sa, like Lucian. We're gonna cover that, like Kai'Sa and Lucian in future videos, but Jhin for now. Now explanation for the runes and spells, exact same as the of course the normal crit Jhin. You of course still want to go for Fleet Footwork. Gives you the healing and the movement speed. Brutal again for the damage when you auto attack. Giant Slayer, most high value rune in this slot, gives you a lot of extra damage. Of course we have Bloodline for more Omnivamp, and we have Bone Plating / Overgrowth for the defensive stats. Flash together with Ghost for the movement speed to run away or chase people down, or you could also of course opt for Exhaust if you need it. So First Strike is actually also an option, because First Strike of course is all about the burst damage and getting the goal and the damage, etc. And with lethality as your starting item, you're gonna do a lot more damage. Your First Strike is gonna give you a lot more value, but personally I just think that Fleet is just so much more consistent, and I just don't like going for First Strike on Jhin anymore. But with all that said, now let's talk about the gameplay. Okay, now into the gameplay. So a little bit of a warning before we start. This is going to be a little bit of an atypical game of a lethality Jhin, because we actually fall behind in the early game, but we actually managed to kind of come back into the game and start snowballing from there. So this is kind of unusual, because generally with the lethality build, you generally will start snowballing early, or you are building it when you're snowballing. So maybe going for just the normal crit build here would have been better, but I was just trying out the lethality build, so I decided to just commit to the lethality build anyways. But anyway, you will see the power of Dustblade still, so it's not like it's just like same as crit Jhin or anything like that. You can see how Dustblade works, and I'm gonna of course point it out when it happens. But here I'm able to get the 4th shot on the Varus because he actually steps up, and also the bounce. So you can see basically Jhin game plan here is just to try to get auto attacks in and try to bounce to the enemy champions if possible. You can see from not just the minions but also the champions are taking quite a bit of damage, so we're gonna have to get the fruit to kind of restore a little bit of our health. And Varus Janna lane is really difficult for Jhin to play against because, of course, Varus has that range to kind of just poke us out, and we can't really do too much about it. And Janna is kind of the same deal, where she can technically just spam her tornadoes and just get in poke just by knocking us up and things like that. So yeah, so it's really kind of not too hot here what's going on in the lane. So we're just kind of just trying to play dodge game here, trying to dodge Varus and Janna spells. But yeah, obviously it's not going too well. We do manage to get a root on Janna, but even so, it's not like we're winning the trade here. Varus gets off a very good trade, and we are finding ourselves at pretty low HP, dodging the Janna tornado, and we're now just kind of stuck under the tower, kind of just trying to get CS and not die. Of course, we do have a Nami to kind of heal us up a little bit over time. Another Varus arrow, another Janna tornado lands, and I'm just really getting poked out at this point. Not too much I can do about it except to try to dodge, of course, but yeah. So here I'm just once again just trying to pick up the minions, and you can see the fleet footwork coming into play here, where if I did not have fleet footwork, I would literally be 1 HP now because of how much fleet footwork has healed me across the course of Varus poking me. So here I'm just waiting for them to actually just push in. Varus has first strike up, so we want to be careful of him trying to launch a pot shot at us. Of course, he's now in the bush and he has vision because of the minions. We do avoid the Varus arrow, but we get hit by Janna tornado. Not nearly as bad as the Varus arrow with the first strike, so we're not going to complain about that too much. And you can see Nami together with fleet footwork is slowly healing us back to a healthy state. And of course, with the bone plating up, getting hit by the Varus arrow, not too big of a deal. And yeah, so now Varus is level 5, so we don't want to step anywhere near him. If not, he's just going to ult us and we're going to get one shot, especially at the kind of health we are at now. So here, I'm just trying to interrupt Varus recall with, of course, my W, and here, helping out my Kayn a little bit in terms of his clear. And now we are just going to continue on farming. Varus doesn't actually have any mana at this point, so I'm just trying to snipe him down. Unfortunately here, he does manage to actually escape, and I'm not actually able to hit the last shot, even though Nami wave knocked him out, which is pretty bad. But here we are able to finish the kill of a flash, but Vi happens to be in the area and does clean up the kill. So overall, ends up being a 2-for-1 trade with everyone just popping all of their summoner spells basically. So that's not too good. It's 1-for-1, so it's not really the worst in the world. And also, it was a 1-for-1 trade of summoner spells. So again, not the worst in the world, but that's definitely not what we were looking for. We're looking for just a clean kill, or popping both sums of Varus is not too bad either. But instead, what happened there is we just basically ended up dying, which is definitely not what we're looking for here. So we're back in pretty much the same position, where we're kind of just stuck here trying to farm and avoid, poke from Varus and Janna. So here I'm able to remove Varus first strike with my W. Unfortunately though, Varus gets the root off and Vi is in the area, so it's a really easy free kill for them, and Vi doesn't even have to use the ult because I'm already dead. Yeah. So anyways, here I have the Dustblade completed, so now I'm at a very major power spike with the Dustblade. Varus only has boots and a Caulfield's Warhammer, so now, despite the fact that I've died, I'm actually stronger than him at the moment, so long as he doesn't recall. So here I'm trying to run all the way back to lane. You can see that they're like greeting for plates, and they're greeting to try to get damage onto Nami. So here I finally reach back to lane. Nami engages with the wave. I try to get the root, but Janna flashes. Now I'm popping my ghost to try to run them down with the Dustblade damage. You guys can see here, huge damage onto Varus, and now I'm popping Janna with the 4th shot, and I get Varus as well with my ulti. So there, the Dustblade damage coming in to, of course, deal massive damage to both parties. And for some reason, Wukong just walks over to get the plate share. Yeah, that actually happened. But anyways, now I'm just going to rotate over to help my team pick up the dragon. And yeah, so here I'm trying to recall, but I don't know why the wolves are... Oh, actually it was the Lux ulti must have aggroed the wolves, and that caused the Krugs, which caused them to actually attack me. So here I'm able to actually pick up my Gluttonous Greaves. Of course, as I mentioned, Lethality Boots could be an option here as well. But now we're kind of back in the game with equal goal to Varus with our 3 kills, and now we are back here, you know, just again clearing the wave. It was a Dragon for Herald trade, which is a lot more favorable for the enemy team in my opinion. I think Jen actually misclicks her ult. I somehow missed the W there, but you can see that does big damage together with a huge amount of damage onto the Janna, and Varus flashes in fear, although I think that was a complete waste because it's not like Kayn could have dived him under the tower, especially since he already popped the ult. But anyways, we get a free Varus flash, and now we have to be careful here because Vi is, as you guys can see, in the area. Lux is right behind, and it kind of just becomes a massive party in the bot lane. So yes, really nice Ahri pinging enemy missing when Lux pretty much already has just thrown spells at us, as if that actually matters at that point. Anyways, here you can see the instant wave clear from Jhin with the double traps into the WQ to instant clear the wave, and we can now just back and start building toward the Bloodthirster. Not quite enough for Vamp Scepter, so we're gonna have to pick up just the two basic components of the glove and the longsword for now. But now we're gonna hit back into the lane, back into the 2v2 matchup, and here just clear out the minions. Varus trying to land some arrows on us again. We somehow get hit by neither the arrow nor the tornado. Finally, some kind of dodging luck there. And here they control ward our Tribush, but they didn't remove our control ward, so I guess I'm just gonna remove it. But I kind of get baited, and I get nearly one-shot by Lux. The flash there was actually useless. I shouldn't even have flash there, because if that was to one-shot me, I would have already been dead. And if that first strike followed me after I flashed and killed me, that would have basically been a wasted flash for nothing. And even so, I still kind of wasted my flash for nothing, because unless Lux was going to flash the wall to auto-attack me, which actually, come to think of it, could actually be possible because she does have her flash up, so I guess it wasn't so wasted. Anyways, here a huge fight breaks out. I actually managed to KS with my W, and right now it's on the chase for the rest of them. I'm slowing the Lux down using my bullets, but we don't quite manage to pick up the kill, unfortunately. And instead we're going to have to settle for the tower. Kayn goes for the Lux, but pretty much nearly dies in the meantime, and we run out of minions, so we don't quite get the tower. Thankfully, Kayn can run through the wall, so no big deal here. Lux is only 1-1, but she is really scary despite that, which is why I pretty much think Lux is a really strong champion. Here, during this whole time, Sion has been pretty much just busy split pushing, and he is already at the tier 2 tower, which is a pretty disastrous kind of situation. Wukong is basically just picking up some free kills because he's suiciding for the tower, as I mentioned in my tier list video. Inting Sion kind of becoming a pretty popular strat. So here I'm just going to quickly pick up this red buff and clear out these minions in the bottom lane. Herald being used in the top lane by the enemy team to secure the top lane tier 2 tower. In the meantime, a fight is breaking out in the mid lane where Lux got assassinated by Kayn. I'm trying to make my way there as I'm finishing off the last few of the Krugs. I'm not going to make it there in time, so I'm just going to pop the ult. Janna gets CC'd, and I'm actually able to get the snipe off on Janna. Actually, in the real game, she was actually kind of obscured by the tower, so I was actually just kind of shooting in that general area. So thankfully, I was able to hit the second shot onto Janna. You can see Varus now does insane amounts of damage. That was damage through the bone plating, by the way, so I think that would have literally did like half health if that wasn't through bone plating. So anyways, here Sion is trying to in for the tower again, so we're gonna have to put a stop to him. Me and Ahri are trying to of course just stop him. Lux out comes in, but it's not like Sion's gonna be able to kill us. He's going full tank, and we're able to actually kill the Sion. Sion goes actually pretty close to killing the Ahri. Ahri survives on pretty low HP, and in the meanwhile, enemy team is trying to go for the dragon. Kayn goes in for the steal. And here I'm trying to finish off the Vi, so I flash the wall, but she flashes away, and now I'm kind of stuck in the pit, so I pop the ghost to actually run away and out of the pit. I can't believe I survived there after that horrible flash into the pit. But here I'm just going to put the trap to check if they are following me, which they are not. In the meantime, Ahri actually picks up 2 kills and is on the chase for more. So here I'm actually trying to wrap around and cut the Varus off, but I wasn't really even needed. Ahri actually just finishes off the kill on Varus by herself. And we're just going to recall and finish up our Bloodthirster. So with that completed, we can head back out, and we obviously know Sion's game plan, which is to just push in. So we as a team are going to stop him. No objectives on the map at the moment, so nothing really to lose from chasing the Sion. I'm going to get the root off on him using my W, and he is pretty much just caught and has nowhere to go. He tries to run in the opposite direction using his Ghost as well as the huge shield that he got, but we are eventually able to finish off the kill on the Sion. And Sion Ghost once again running rampant. This time I'm just going to finish him off with 2 more bullets to the head. And now with that out the way, we can move on to other things. Now Kayn manages to overextend the top lane and get caught out somehow, which is not not really the best. He's actually pinging us to check the Baron because he thinks that they might be there waiting for it to spawn, but I highly doubt it because Kayn and Baron spawn at the same time, so Kayn can get to the Baron really quickly, and the enemy team cannot really rush a Baron that quickly. Once again, another Varus arrow hits me for a really decent chunk of damage through the actual bone plating. So here we're just clearing out the wave, nothing too interesting now. And here Sion once again is trying to int. This time Baron is actually up, so this is a really good move by Sion if his team wants to actually go for Baron. Here I'm getting off the root onto the Sion. Sion obviously dies again. Enemy team decides to trade Sion's life for the mid tower, so no one is there to defend mid, and they are actually able to pick up mid. Now for some reason Janna and Varus actually walk forward towards me instead of just trying to walk past the Ahri. Janna is able to escape together with Varus, but Lux instead ends up dying. Here Wukong is completely oblivious to the fact that he has to cut them off, and he actually ends up being engaged on by them instead, which is pretty hilarious. So here we are trying to finish off some kills. We get the kill on Varus and we're chasing Janna down. Janna goes down, I believe, to Ahri. And here I'm just trying to snipe the Vi. I get the first 2 shots in, but I missed the 3rd one and barely missed the 4th one as well. So Vi is able to stay alive. So here in the meanwhile, Sion has respawned and is trying to defend his tower. I'm just going to go for the mid lane wave. I think that my team is trying to go for top lane tower, but obviously Sion can clear out the minions pretty quickly, so that's not really going to happen. And now I'm just going to recall and build towards IE. At this point, I got a pretty good amount of gold, second only to Ahri, Vi very closely behind, so we're still in a pretty good position, despite a couple of blunders in the earlier stages of the game. And here I'm trying to ping for assistance from Kayn to pick up his red buff, but for some reason, Kayn decides to go to the other side of the map instead, I guess maybe to stop the Sion, or go for a kill. So I'm just going to pick up the red buff myself. If Kayn isn't interested in it, I'm just going to go for it myself. And we secure the red buff. Just going for the mid lane wave next. And here Vi and Wukong have an encounter. Wukong spam pinging for us to come over, and here we're here to help him out. If we catch up the Vi, it could be a Baron for us, so it is definitely worth committing our time here. Now I see her doing the blue buff, so I'm just going to try to get some damage down on her while she's doing that. She surprisingly commits to taking the blue buff instead of trying to dodge my ulti or trying to run away. And because I thought she was going to dodge, I actually ended up missing my 3rd and my 4th shot, so she does end up securing the blue buff. Here I really wanted to back, but this is going to be Dragon Soul, so I can't really back, I can't really complete my IE. I'm going to have to be forced to stay here and help my team to contest the dragon. Here Ahri is not quite with us, which is kind of the real issue here. Here, really dangerous to stand in this bush, because if a Lux combo gets thrown into this bush, we are all going to be in trouble. So Ahri is finally making her way here. Dragon is being done really slowly by the enemy team. Sion is coming in to run interference, and here Kayn manages to get the steal, which means that we get the Ocean Soul. So here you can see I'm just trying to DPS, but the real issue is that Sion is such a beefy frontliner that I'm basically just attacking the Sion and no one else really. Here Giant Slayer really coming in clutch with the health damage. But here I'm just trying to really just DPS while staying safe. Ahri goes in, becomes legendary, and Janna dies to Ahri as well. Now here Lux trying to escape, but I have my ult still available, so I'm trying to run over out the Lux, and I'm able to secure the kill onto the Lux. So now we've actually secured Ocean Dragon Soul, so we do have a lot more healing and sustain. You know, always a good thing to have Dragon Soul, but not essential. So here, I'm just going to go for mid lane tower together with Ahri, while Kayn and Nami go for bot lane. We can finish off the inhibitor as well. Vi comes to defend for some reason, gets charmed and rooted, full CC combo and just dies. Big mistake by Vi to try to defend the tower here. And we are able to get both of the inhibitor towers. It's pretty much just time to leave here. And Nami eats a Sion ult straight to the face because Ahri and Kayn are not really willing to block for her, and we're just gonna run away. The Varus ult does come in on the Ahri, and Ahri is trying to run for her life. Putting down the traps to slow down the enemy team. Ahri gets hit by a Lux ult as well, but is able to survive. So here Ahri is just farming up the Raptors. You can see the healing coming into effect, and we're now gonna build, of course, our Maul Reminder, and we're starting off with actually the we are starting off with the last Whisper component of it because Sion is becoming a huge problem, and Vi is also getting really tanky. And actually, honestly, the whole team is kind of doing equally well, but Sion and Vi being the front line is really annoying to have to deal with them. You know, because we have to get through them to get to the back line, so we're going to go for the penetration part first to do more damage to the front line. And by the way, you can see why Inting Sion kind of works here. You can see that Sion actually has like almost as much gold as like the Vi, and he has more gold than Lux and Varus. So Inting Sion, he's 1 in 7, but he's gotten so much towers and minions from Inting that it actually becomes a good strategy. I think it's kind of an epidemic taking over Wild Rift at the moment, the Inting Sion strat. Depends on your view of it about whether the strat is good or the strat is like, you know, bad. But it's definitely happening more and more often, especially in this particular patch. So here Elder Dragon is spawning in 10 seconds, so pretty much obviously means we're going to have to, of course, contest it. For some reason, Sion and Janna are in the top lane, so they're going to be at a numbers disadvantage, so we really want to start a fight here. Speaking of which, Wukong is starting a fight one-on-one against Vi, which is a really bad idea because his team is going to come and stop him, which is exactly what happens. Here I'm trying to ult to just, you know, do a little bit of damage first. Varus gets completely caught out by Nami bubble into wave and just gets one-tapped. Vi pretty much same deal, and then followed by Janna. And at this point, Sion finally makes his way here. He's pretty much not going to do anything at this point. And with only Lux and Sion alive, this is an angle to go for the end of the game. So Sion pretty much is trying to walk back into his own base. And now we're just pretty much just going ahead to end the game. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'm going to leave you guys with the stats as usual. Thank you so much for watching, and bye.